Hi, Chris. How are you? You can put another chair beside you. They don't look like you're, they don't look like you'll. Yes, there might be a there.
Here, I'll put this over.
How are you, Brenda?
Really well. How are you, Greg?
Not bad.
Look how your guys are so grown up. Your son's eighth grade.
This is
Get one of our.
Call the meeting to order. Join us in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome everybody for coming. Motion to approve agenda, I'd like motion to approve agenda item letter J removed from new business.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing to gather public input on the proposed application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for CDBG funds for wastewater treatment plant improvements. Consider and discuss resolution approving an application for CDBG funds for the wastewater treatment plant improvements.
All right, we'll start with the public hearing portion. My name is Holly Berg with Area.
You want to open the motion?
Oh, yeah.
You want to do a motion for the public?
Need to open the public hearing.
Yeah.
Move to open the public hearing.
All, now you gotta do roll call.
Darren,
Yes. First time we know.
Earl,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
start, do this again. It's been a year since we did one of these, so release for our projects. So Holly Berg with Area 15 Regional Planning Commission. And we've been working towards the application for the wastewater treatment plant improvements that are gonna take place. So I have a sheet here that I will read as quickly and efficiently and clearly as possible. So to talk about the things that are required to be talked about to do the application. So how the need for activities was identified. The project will address required wastewater treatment plant improvements to meet new NPDES permit limits for ammonia, nitrogen, dissolved oxygen, and E. coli by July 1, 2021. Complaint consent agreement was ordered by the Environmental Protection Agency in September 2016 in regards to the city's sanitary sewer overflows, wastewater reporting errors, and effluent violations. City also received a compliance inspection report in August 2018 from IDNR field office outlining issues with the wastewater system, including pH and ammonia exceedances and pH flow exceedances from a significant industrial user. After reviewing historical effluent concentrations, it's been determined that the city will not be able to consistently meet future effluent needs with the current wastewater treatment plant facility. In order to achieve compliance with the new NPDES permit limits, new facilities and/or processes must be implemented at the existing plant as outlined in the May 2019 wastewater treatment system improvements facility plan. How the proposed activities will be funded and the sources of funds. The total cost of the project is estimated at $5,775,500. Funding for the project will include a proposed $600,000 from the Iowa Community Development Block Grant Program. The local portion of the project is anticipated to be $1,175,500 and will be paid through SRF loan funds. The date the CDB application will be submitted will be on or before October 1st, 2019, which is the deadline. Estimated portion of federal funds that will benefit low and moderate income persons is 56.54% based on an income survey the city conducted in October 2016. Nature and location of the proposed activities will be conducted. The activity will take place in the city of Bloomfield at the site of the existing wastewater treatment plant. located near the intersection of East Street and Highway 2. The project scope will include converting Lagoon Cell 1 into 2 aerated cells, Lagoon Cell 2 into 1 aerated cell and 1 quiescent cell. 4 Sagers submerged attached growth reactors will be constructed in the remaining Lagoon Cell 2 to provide tertiary ammonia removal and disinfection. Plans to minimize displacement of persons and businesses resulting in funded activities. No persons or businesses will be displaced as part of this project. The city will follow its residential anti-displacement and residential relocation plan if necessary, which it won't be, I don't think. Estimated impact on user rates. If funded, the average residential sewer bill will be approximately $41.06 per month. If the project was not funded, the improvements would still need to be carried out and could raise the average residential bill by an estimated $3.91 per month.
Has anybody from the public got any comments? Have you received any written comments?
No, I haven't.
Anybody from the council have any comments? Motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close public hearing.
Second. Consider and discuss resolution approving application for CDBG funds for the wastewater treatment plant improvements. Got a vote. I want to get through.
Thank you.
Matt,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
How can I proceed? Consider and discuss resolution approving an application for CDBG funds for the wastewater treatment plant improvements. Motion to approve the resolution.
Move to approve the resolution.
Darren,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jack.
Yes.
I think you're good.
Yeah, we're good. Think, we'll get the application in.
I'll sign it.
Yeah. I left her a couple of pages that don't, need resolutions, they're just policy, affirmations. So we'll get all that and we'll be ready to go. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Police chief.
Dalton is gonna be leaving us. He decided this wasn't his career choice, so we're gonna be down one. On better news, today we had some search warrants and recovered some city property along with some other stuff, so it was a good day. And Trent is back in uniform and patrolling, so we got him back, so I will be fine.
Fire chief.
Everything's going good. We're moving into the month of October, fire prevention safety, so we're starting to schedule tours and classroom presentations at the schools. I delivered a package. They'll be delivered tomorrow to Danny Roberts. They're gonna install Knox boxes at the schools. For those of you who don't know what Knox box is, basically it'll be a box that'll fix the building that secures the keys. We will have one key. We will have the only key to that building or to that box, so that if there is an emergency, we can use our key to get into the box to get to their keys. So they came and approached me about it, and I've got all the applications and paperwork in their direction. The other thing was I've communicated with Frontline Communications, trying to secure our old siren that we sent back. It got rebuilt, see if we could get it back for little or nothing so that we can install it out the industrial park. If that fails, they are taking down storm sirens at a military complex. So they're working, see if we can get the best bang for our buck and try to get something out the industrial park. So I've talked to Tyler, so he can talk with Plexico so they can see what they can come up with, some additional funding. So everything's going good.
Thanks. Main Street.
Just a couple of things. I wanted to ask where we were as far as the incentive program, what the portion of the city we proposed for the city.
Well, the last I knew that was kind of put on hold until I got everything handled. I don't know I'm supposed to go back into that or not?
Did we? I thought we were kind of waiting to see how quick we could get a interim city administrator.
That was my recollection.
Yeah. So, and maybe we'll move.
Yeah, I'd say,
We can look at,
huh?
maybe that's something.
I'd say we can get, after the 1st of October, we'll get back on it and see if we can't get it done.
I just wanted to tell you guys about, we're partnering with Indian Hills Community College. We're starting back up our lunch and learns in October. For the summer, people are busy. So I worked with Indian Hills. They're gonna be supplying 4 classes every Monday night from September 30th, 4 consecutive weeks with a different topic on marketing and small business. And it'll be taught by a professor that will be coming over here. We'll be having them in this room, and unless we run out of space, and then we'll be looking for a different venue. But we secured a fee of $106 for all 4 classes, which in talking with businesses, thought that was a great deal, since they are college level classes for them to take. And so we're going to be doing that through the month of October. That will take care of our lunch and learns. And then based on the surveys that we completed, we'll be picking up different speakers to come to basically round up the year for the lunch and learn. So a comprehensive educational program for businesses in Davis County that is open to all businesses in Davis County. That's where we're headed right now, continuing to work on the market studies and strategies project.
Thanks. DCDC is not having public comments. Discuss and approve hiring an interim city administrator. Did everybody get the, Heather just brought me the final draft that was sent. As far as I'm aware, is he's willing to sign it?
Well, I mean, I haven't heard from him. I only heard, from Brent. So I don't know for sure that he's willing to sign it. We'll have to.
I guess we need to approve this and then have him send it.
So Brent got back to me, and I think the only issue that he raised Gala addressed, which was sort of a mathematical issue of how the compensation was determined.
So I'd say we need to approve this agreement. Have Brent, get it to Brent or get it to the individual and have them get it signed, and then I'm assuming with us approving that, once he signs it, I'd have the authority to sign it once we got it back to get it into place without having to have another meeting.
Dan, do you want to maybe talk about the general terms of these?
Does it, the duties, do you want me to read what duties we got down on this one?
Yeah, probably, we probably need to do that.
I mean, it's prepare the annual budget, present it to the council, and administer the council-approved budget. Attend all meetings of the council unless excused by a majority of the council. Recommend to the council measures as may be necessary or expedite for the good government and welfare of the city. Supervise and direct the official conduct of. Supervise the performance of all contracts for work to be done for the city. Supervise all the materials and supplies and see that such material and supplies are received and are the quality and character called for by the contract. Keep the council fully advised of the financial and other conditions of the city, conduct the business affairs of the city, and cause accurate records to be kept by modern and efficient accounting methods. Perform the duties outlined in Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the city, or delegate such duties to the deputy city clerk.
Well, I'd probably go into, I mean, who you're making offer to, what the compensation kind of looks like,
What was the first part you said?
who you're making the offer to.
Oh. The offer is going to Andrew Morse. compensation, the city agrees to pay Morris for his services rendered the rate of $48 per hour, paid monthly. Morris agrees that his compensation shall not exceed $6,800 per month. We've got some months with 4.5 weeks.
Right.
Is there anything else anybody's seen in it they might have a question about that I can answer?
We've got a paragraph in there that says that we will talk with him and add additional duties as needed, so.
Yeah, that, we just needed to put some duties in there to begin with.
I think it's on an initial 3-month term and then month to month.
It's on a 3-month term and then a month to month after that. 30 days either side, back or forth, as far as ending the contract.
So if the council approves this, and authorizes the mayor to sign it, then on behalf of the city, then I will then send it to him to sign. Assuming he signs it, then you guys would then have a interim city administrator. If he doesn't sign it,
Would it be helpful maybe just also, because we have a lot of folks here, I think a little bit of lack of understanding sort of in the community, just to kind of take a step back and walk through how we got here, because I know we discussed this at a special meeting, and that'd be helpful. I can kind of go back because I was working with Brent.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that most people in the community know, Gary left, I think in September. We retained Brent Henson, who's very experienced and well-respected in this area, to help us, kind of give us advice on what our next steps are. In terms of looking at the permanent city administrator role, one of the things Brent came back with is, given where we are in our election cycle, he recommended we retain an interim city administrator to get us through the election, and then if there was changeover in governance at all, get those new folks involved, and then have a thoughtful search when the city has more time. Shortly thereafter, Brent reached out to me with a suggestion that we hire Mr. Morris on an interim basis. 90 days is the initial term, and then it'll just renew month to month after that, terminable by either party after that 90-day term on 30 days notice. The hourly compensation is what the mayor read earlier, less than what we were paying our prior city administrator. We also still have some vacancies at the city. One of the things that I like about the interim city administrator is we're midstream on a lot of projects. The budget's important. We need to move the streets project forward. There's some other things we're looking at. We want to keep momentum with the housing project. There's other things we're looking at, sidewalks, some possible other development. And obviously that we have some vacancies at City Hall that need to be addressed. So we felt when we had the special meeting, I felt at least that it was important to get someone in there that could help us with those things. Everyone understands it's an interim basis. We had that discussion. We feel like that works well for us. Mr. Morris feels like it works well for him. And kind of get the city through this interim period with some stability so we can take a look at our permanent. So that's why like the duties are somewhat open-ended. That's why it's the term of the agreement is what it is. So.
Well, I think a small amount too, there's a little question. I mean, he was in a tumble, something evident, it's been in the paper. There's been no reason why he was let go. We did background checks, we've had reference calls, I've talked to people, and we've had nobody say anything bad about the guy.
That's incredible.
And everybody that would hire the guy back. So what the differences was, why he is no longer in a tumble, we don't have the answer to that, nor does it probably matter. We just feel that he'll be a good fit as an intern for our situation and help us keep going. So we're just trying to clear the air a little bit of there's been some negative talk, and I just want to make sure that everybody's aware that we've checked into all that stuff, and we feel that, well, we feel there's nothing, no red flags or anything to not hire the guy, so. Motion to approve the agreement.
Move to approve the agreement for Andrew Morris, as an interim city administrator.
And do you want to give me, if we get this to him and he's agreeable with it, give me the authority to sign it without having to come back?
I think if we approve it tonight, you can go ahead and sign it.
Correct.
You sign it and send it to him for signature.
I just want to make sure that.
Scott,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes. New business, open sealed bids and consider awarding contract for demolition of houses. 206 West Franklin. This is from Weston P. for asbestos removal and bid for the house on 206 West Franklin.
No, West Walnut, I think it's West Walnut.
West Walnut. So. Shot. Total bid is $11,500. This bid's from Tim Skinner for the same property, 206 West Walnut, asbestos and demolition. Total bid's $13,777.
And they both use our form. I take it. Both those are our bid forms.
This is the bid form that we sent, and they both come back on that for bid form.
Both people have the bonds then.
Both bonds are with them, yes.
Okay.
So, we got 11,500 or 13,777. Motion to approve for the 206 West Lawn. McKee,
I'll make a motion to accept McKee's bid for 206 West Walnut, $11,500.
Darren,
yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
See, the bid for 207 West Franklin, we only got one bid. This is from Tim Skinner also. Got the bond check. Got our bid form, and it's for $8,960. Motion to approve that bid.
Move to approve, the Skinner bid on 207 West Franklin of $8,960.
Second.
Matt,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes. Consider and discuss execution of the letter of understanding agreement regarding the service territory, station power, and ownership issue with the solar array. Greg Proctor's here from Southern Iowa Electric Co-op, if anybody has any questions. Basically, we gotta change the wording from forefront that was in the old one to AEP, I think so, about the only changes.
It formally listed Iowa Wind and Solar as well.
So that's all, this is just changing the wording, making American Electric Power in place where Iowa Wind and Solar was before.
So I hate to kick the can down the road, but is this something that could wait until the next meeting, just so that we can have our, if we get city administrator? Just because I don't have enough, for me personally, I don't have enough background in this whole relationship.
I guess there's no reason we can't.
It's very straightforward. Iowa Code 476.25 established service territories for electric utilities dating back to 1979. In this case, the solar array that's serving Bloomfield is sitting in Southern Iowa Electric Service Territory. Utilities have the ability to self-provide from generation source. Given the economic viability of the project is dependent upon a third party, the third party being AEP now, then Bloomfield is providing power in Southern Iowa Electric Service Territory. So that waives any concern by us. It allows that to happen without issue in support of the project.
Southern Iowa Electric's attorney wrote it, our attorney in Des Moines looked at it.
This has been reviewed by our attorney.
Taylor's and Cooney read.
Okay.
The only difference in this one and the one that we signed a year ago,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, is we just, anywhere it said Iowa Wind and Solar, it now says American Electric Power.
Why that was necessary is when the solar array went from a fixed system into a tracking system, it required station power to be provided. So it needs to rotate from west back to east, so it can start collecting solar again in the morning. And without batteries on that solar array, it's got to have power from somewhere, which means it's got to have a power supply. Bloomfield being the power supply.
So basically, we're selling electricity to them to operate it out of our area, and this is just REC allowing us to do that in good faith and in support of the project. I just look for that word.
Got it.
As long as our attorneys looked at it,
They have looked at it. Motion to approve the new letter of understanding.
Move to approve the new letter of understanding with Iowa Electric.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Discuss and consider approval of quote for security system from CMTel in the amount of $7,928.97.
That's just, so what CMTel gave us a quote for security cameras in the office and on the shop. So that was just the quote they brought in. I know this brought their attention to seek it out, so that's what we did. They do provide the security cameras at the pool in the park right now, so kind of the same setup.
I don't think there's enough cameras on this. I talked to James of location where they was gonna put them, and I think there's a couple of spaces we need to add.
Yeah, I didn't,
Thanks, Greg.
Yep, thanks.
I was just trying to accommodate getting in there because I didn't want to go too, I didn't want to, too, because he talked about too, about setting a pole back there. Of course, we was trying to wait till we got some of these houses out of here, but they set a pole over there too.
I'm talking more in the office area.
Oh, okay, oh.
So I think we'll talk about that maybe at the staff meeting tomorrow,
Okay.
and then get an updated quote for the next meeting. Does that work with everybody?
You're talking about putting some cameras in the city hall? Okay, would love to talk more about that if that's the way we're going.
Danny, do you know, did IAMU ever get that report?
Yes, I have that.
Security.
Yeah,
If it-
Did they make any
They will
recommendations
have to
like
keep
he
it.
knows?
let's see that on there.
I'll hang around a minute after, and I'll tell you what I found
That
out.
might be helpful. Save us the staff if they.
So if everybody's okay with that, we'll table that till the next meeting, a little more discussion on the legalities of everything also.
Okay.
Consider and discuss policy regarding disposal of city property. Everybody get that, read it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Is everybody okay with it? Got any questions?
Now, Heather, can the bids be like just calling 3 different places? They don't necessarily have to be written.
No, it would be written, because like we talked about last time, there's actually not a code on anything other than the real estate land, so this is just kind of a policy the city of Bloomfield has determined, so. As long as, you just try to make sure you get fair market value to the best that you do that.
Motion to approve the policy.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consider approval resolution number 2019-31, a resolution approving the street finance report for fiscal year 2019. This is an annual report that we have to do. that
Yes,
right?
it is. It's
So it's really just need to approve it. Get it sent in, so. We have a motion to approve.
I move that we approve, resolution number 2019-31, a resolution approving the street financial report for fiscal year 2019.
Second.
Darren,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jack?
Yeah.
Matt,
Yes.
Scott?
Yes. Consider approval of request by Bloomfield Main Street to close streets for the Fall Festival on September 28th.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consider and discuss employee wellness program.
This is a program that we've done for several years. The hospital staff will come to the city and provide the lab testing. It's $40 for the comprehensive screening, and then $10 for additional testing if you wish. This does include a flu shot for $30, and then a 6-month membership to the Mutual Center for $107. And this might seem like a lot of money, but if an employee would go just to have the lab work done and bill the insurance, it would be over $500 just for the lab work. So this is a good deal that we're getting.
The wellness screening results, those just go to the employee, they don't come back to anybody else.
The employee can choose to have them sent to their physician,
Okay.
but no, they're mailed straight to the employee. I never see them.
I'd make a motion that we pass the employee wellness program for this year.
Okay, Jack, while you're making that, we got options. Who all do you want it to include?
Not
Here's we got employees, spouses, council members, spouses, fire department, or any kind, you can do all these or part of them, we're gonna do them all.
Yeah.
Alright,
So you doing them all?
Jack moved to do the wellness program for employees, their spouses, council members, their spouses, the fire department to be included.
I'll second that.
Can I just clarify, Sandy, does that include police?
Yes.
Yes, it does. The reason the fire department is, included specifically is because, one, they've never been included before, but we have recently tried to include them more into things we're doing.
And they have to have it anyway.
Yeah, and they're not considered an employee like the rest of the people are.
Volunteers.
They're volunteers,
Their safety is our concern.
yes.
And our physicals are based on different criteria, and half of them got theirs last Monday, and the other half will get theirs next year. So we have to keep that stuff on file.
So we got a motion, we got a second.
Earl second.
Earl second.
Yeah.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Consider approval of inserting building permit information and one call information in utility bills. I just had this book, me and Brenda went back 2 or 3 different times on different ideas on this as far as what information we thought would be good for everybody. We put is there a copy of it in here?
Yes,
The building permit info is on one side and the building ordinance, or the 811 is on the back side, making sure people are aware. And the building permit ordinance is on the front.
I put all those extra things in there just to show that in the past 7 months, we have notified the public 4 times that they have to call 811. So if there's something else you wanted to put on there instead of the 811, we really have it covered.
And then, is that what this information is?
Yes.
And I also think this is going out into this is gonna be a folder in the utility bills. I'd also like to see it put in the paper or and on the website.
Do we want to put any kind of like just short disclaimer on there, like, hey, we're gonna start enforcing this? Something along those lines. The project could be shut down, you could be fined.
I think we also need to
So that people know, because I think that's the purpose of this is,
let the contractors know that they need to make sure there's a permit before they.
Maybe down here at the bottom, on both sides, just put this will be enforced.
The contractors need to ask the person they're working for the job permit.
They ought to help them get.
So,
and we could just put something down here like, almost like it is in here in bold. You know, be aware, failure to call 811 or get a building permit could result in work stoppage and or fines. It's big.
Sounds good.
That way we can feel like we're being fair if we don't stop the project.
there's a section in the ordinance that states,
Number 1, at the end of number 1, any person who has started construction in the city without obtaining a building permit where a permit is required will need to stop construction and obtain the permit at a charge of $100.
Because people aren't gonna read that. I just think if we put it
I
like
think
a
if you
big,
made that $100 a dollar sign and a 100, they'll see the number, and I think it'll pop out at them.
Highlighted.
Then
So
the
you can bold
wording,
it, you can bold it.
bold that or
Put
something.
bigger type.
or in parentheses,
Bold that whole sentence.
Flashing arrows.
that whole last sentence bolded, and in parentheses, I should put the $100 in numbers.
If we've gotten this, if they've gotten this 4 times and we're still having the issue, that tells me people are just throwing it out. That they're gonna look at all the information and like if there's like, hey, the reason we're giving this to you is because they're got a problem. You're gonna get fined and you're gonna kinda like, well, with your kids, like I'm gonna count to 3.
Whenever I see notice on something, that makes me pay more attention.
The only thing, I guess, is we're just trying to be proactive, because we learn the hard way right off the bat, because people like it if you warn them before you just write tickets.
Yes.
Because we did the ticket thing, 50 some of them.
Mhm.
And, I mean, it got everybody's attention,
And hours.
and then was upset because we didn't warn them ahead of time. You shouldn't have to, it's a law, it's an ordinance, but I think for our side, I think if we would just let them know ahead of time, we put it out there, they can't say we didn't tell them. So motion to approve that, being in the billing, and then also, do you wanna put it in the paper?
Yes.
Put that into the motion, please.
So moved.
Yes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider approval of posting electric line labor position and advertising for same. Do we wanna talk about that more at the staff meeting, maybe?
Right, just need to approve the posted, so we need. I mean, so, whatever, change you need to post.
Yeah, we need an okay to go ahead and post it to the union.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Let's see. I don't know if there's any thought process or anything needs to go into that more than just posting it.
I don't see it.
It's only a day old.
I don't see it posting in yet. But this is the one that just vacated.
Yeah, so we gotta post it in-house for 5 days internally for the union employees to bid on. And if nobody bids on it, then we can advertise it publicly to hire it from the outside.
My only question is, I know I'm sorry, I'm not getting on it, keeping all this right, but I know we've talked about moving some positions around or restructuring a little bit. You know, if we post it internally and it's bid on, are we locked in at that point to filling it?
If somebody internally bids on it, we have to.
So then if we decide over the next few weeks at staff meetings, hey, we're gonna reallocate resources or whatever, then can't do that.
So,
If we posted it, we're locked in.
yeah, you're locked in, so.
Then after interim gets here.
To me, that seems like,
I think we need to
Okay, let's table this.
table this
Maybe
to,
we table this for,
second.
all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Consider approval to purchase liquid ice melt for $5,362.50.
Again, this is over my expense story, but also we changed this year, instead of, normally we purchase our salt and stuff ahead of time. We always usually buy a pallet of the rock salt, ice melt stuff, put down calcium hypochlorite. But this year I'd like to request to purchase I think it's 250 gallons, I can't remember what's on that sheet.
275.
275 of liquid. It's a pre-treatment. It's a 14-day treatment. So that we put down and use, it's supposed to be better for the concrete, better on the inside, so on the floors and stuff like that. So I really kind of need to lock in the price for the year. It changes after October 1st. The price goes up. So
How is this priced according to what we've been getting?
It's a little higher, of course, it's liquid, so, but
It's supposed to work better.
wish to work better, it's not, it's, better on the floors. I think it'd be good for
Better on
like the
the concrete.
library and city hall and the shop areas and everything, anything where we have, foot traffic, it's real good on the metal ramp will be good, that kind of stuff. It's supposed to last 14 days, so. It's supposed to be a rough winter, so I just went and got it towed, it's cheaper by the gallon, bigger, of course. We'll have 2 applicators that'll come with to spray it.
Danny, I don't wanna hear it's gonna be a rough winter.
That's what they're saying, I'm just planning for the worst, hoping for the best.
Move to strike that from the record.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consider approval to pay IUB $3,123 for the 2018 electric assessment.
Gosh, do we have to?
What did they do?
That's a standard, they come down every year, or actually every 2 years, I think every site, they come in, so this is where they come in routine to inspect and tell us what we have to improve on for our electrical system, so I guess we get to pay for the inspection as well as take the punishment too.
Is there a report?
Yes, yeah,
Where's it at?
get that for you, I don't have it.
Well, what the invoice is. The report that we got back and what all got, yeah, I don't know. Probably be good to see that too. Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consider approval to pay Frank Reniker Associates Incorporated $13,468.53 for engineering services rendered for the month of August 2019 for the 2018 CDBG Division 1 Water EDC CO.
Yeah, that's just the contract observation and any change orders that they did for that month right there. That's for the Lawson water, so.
Motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve claims as presented.
Mayor, I'll stand from the vote. There's an invoice in there, for work that the city did on the storm sewer on my property. I think the work was fine. I don't have any issue with it. I'll also note, just for background, the same vendor, did additional work for me, and I've been invoiced for that separately. But I will abstain from the claim. It's the one to Kaburski.
Anybody got any questions on the claims? Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comments? Sandy?
The candidacy packets were turned in today. We have 2 people running in Ward 1, 3 people in Ward 3, and 1 person at large.
All right, thanks. Brenda?
Nothing.
Danny?
Yes, the automated meter project, we have still about 20 to 25 water meters. We're still trying to get into homes. So we put a pretty heavy, focus on trying to get those people contacted. It's just slow going on there. We need to really get into those and finish these out. So probably next council meeting, of course, with the interim city administrator, probably need to come up with a plan on possibly billing those that we can't get in the house going forward. So one thing we need to work on. And
Is it just lack of people being home, or are they being?
most of them don't want us in there, but the feedback we're getting from some of them, and there is just a handful that is not being home. But, you know,
Shut the utilities off.
I think I took care of one of them for you.
Okay. But they just really need to call the 800 number and get it scheduled, and we'll work around the time. We're doing Saturdays, evenings, anything we can do to get them in there, so, yeah, we're making contact with some of them that are calling. So then we have about 30 gas residential we need to finish up on, and then we're 98% on residential electric, and working on some more industrial electric. Other than that, so that project's coming pretty good. We've really increased our reports, everything, even with consumption reports, everything we've been doing with the meter readings, been doing real well. So this is starting to pay off now, and we're kind of over the backside, so it's getting a lot better. CDBG grants moving pretty good, except, you know, today we had a little issue over on West Street. We boring there, and we had a water main break, so it's a slight water outage today, but no boil orders required, so it's good and got everything back on. We did have 2 power outages in the last week, and that's basically the same squirrel, so we've got that corrected. So we're starting to have some squirrel issues.
Same squirrel. You want me to send JD out there?
Are you tagging them?
Yeah.
Was it a red-eared squirrel?
Yeah, no, he was, actually got on there, so it happened last week, is when the school was out both times, and the squirrel, we didn't find him the first time, so we got it back on and restored, but what happened was the wind picked up this week, and actually his tail blew and then put down and.
You say find him or find him?
Yeah, we found him now, but he's out now. He was cooking.
Finding for an outage.
Yeah, yeah, so, anyway, we had another one over on another street today too, so, working good there. Grants moving.
Is there gonna be any more water outages
No, there shouldn't be any more. Actually.
planned?
Not planned, nothing planned. There are some robocalls going out to those people that live out by Hickory Hall and around, maybe some businesses. Rapid Rural Water does robocalls. So if you hear a robocall about water outage or something, that's possibly Rapid Rural Water. They're getting calls from that, not from us. So in that service area, they're starting to get some calls. So notify if we have an outage, but we haven't had anything right now. So
Have they said when the water's gonna go back to normal?
it should be back to normal. It's
Fine in my house still.
back.
It's better.
Still got smell.
Still a little bit, but it's not like it was.
It's probably.
I'm drinking it again now.
Taking a while to.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kenny started leaving his gym bag in the kitchen, and I'll tell you, you don't notice the smell.
You just keep putting the clothes on.
I'll bring
and take
some
care of
over
that.
to you. I think he lets it bake.
I got enough clothes in my.
Yeah. You won't notice that one.
That's all I have. Anything on there?
Is that all you got?
Yes, sir.
Anybody on the council got anything? I don't think I have anything. We got another, been having regular staff meetings every Friday from 2 to dark. I think we'll have a couple weeks forward, and we may have a small setback. I think we're back forward again. It's been a difference and a change for everybody, but I think it's starting to help and start to work. I think with this interim, I think that'll be a big plus for us too, but keeping everything going. I think everybody's doing the best they can right now, so I think that's all I got. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Chief.
Okay, great.